Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Disneyland Hotel Diaries. Planning that perfect Disney trip is a blast, but let's be real, choosing the right hotel can feel like a massive puzzle. Today, we are diving deep into a really popular option that a lot of people look at, one that promises both value and a great location, the Cortona Inn and Suites. So our mission here is to do all the homework for you, dig into the good, the bad, and everything in between. So here's the game plan. We're going to kick things off with its location, then we'll sneak a peek at the rooms and what they offer. After that, we'll get into the real nitty-gritty, weighing the perks against the quirks, and we'll wrap it all up with a final verdict and some pro tips. Sound good? Let's go. All right, first things first, and honestly, this is the big one for most people. Location, location, location. I mean, this can literally make or break your entire vacation, right? It affects your energy, your budget, everything. So the big question is, how does the Cortona stack up? Well, here's the headline feature, the thing everyone talks about. It's about a 15-minute walk to Disneyland's main gate. And that, my friends, is a massive selling point. Think about it. No waiting for crowded buses, no fighting the parking garage chaos. You can just walk. You can even pop back to the room for a midday nap, which is a total game changer. And it's not just about the parks. The hotel is also practically next door to the Anaheim Convention Center, which is a huge plus if you're in town for a conference. And when you're done for the day, you've got a ton of food options like Bubba Gump and the Cheesecake Factory right there at the Garden Walk. It really is a super convenient little hub.
So yeah, the location is a definite win. But what about the place you'll actually be crashing after walking a million steps in the park? Let's head inside and see what you really get with the rooms and amenities.
Okay, one of the biggest perks and something that adds a ton of value is the free hot breakfast. This comes up again and again in reviews. And we're not just talking about some sad muffins and cold cereal here. Travelers mention things like biscuits and gravy and that the menu actually changes from day to day. This alone can save a family a serious chunk of change and time every single morning. The hotel is also really geared towards families. They've got these themed kids suites that come with awesome bunk beds, which, are going to be a huge hit with the kids. But here's the thing. Even in the standard rooms, every single one has a refrigerator and a microwave, and that is absolutely essential for stashing drinks and heating up leftovers. And here's a real-world look inside one of the rooms. This is a photo from a recent traveler. Now, the general consensus seems to be that the rooms are pretty spacious and the beds are comfortable, which, let's be honest, is maybe the most important thing after you've walked 20,000 steps around the parks. Okay, now for the most crucial part of any of these deep dives, right? Every hotel has its amazing highlights and its, less than perfect aspects. So it's time to get into the perks versus the quirks and see what people are really saying. The traveler ratings tell a really interesting story here. Look at this. Location scores super high, a 4.3. Service is right behind it at 4.2, but then the rooms category drops down to a 3.8. That kind of points to a disconnect, doesn't it? It's like people love where the hotel is, but they're a little less thrilled with the room they're actually sleeping in. So let's put some actual voices to those numbers. We're going to look at a couple of reviews that I think perfectly capture the two very different experiences people seem to have at the Cortona. First up, the good stuff. A review from Chris Lell says, the staff was great, always helpful and patient, and the heated outdoor pool and hot tub were delightful. So this really highlights two major perks people talk about, the super friendly service and that pool area, which is a huge bonus for relaxing after a long day. But then, you have the other side of the coin. This review from Jody gets really specific about an issue that comes up a lot. Our room's carpets were as dirty as I have ever seen. Our socks and feet black after just 1 minute. We had to wear shoes our whole trip. Oof. And this isn't just one person saying this. Dirty carpets are mentioned quite a bit in reviews, so it's a pretty significant concern. Hey, just jumping in for a second. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button. We've got a ton more Disneyland Hotel Diaries on the way, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Okay, let's talk about another major quirk that definitely affects that value score we saw earlier. There is a mandatory nightly parking fee of $22. And here's the catch, it's not always super obvious when you're booking. It can be a really unwelcome surprise that adds up fast, especially on a longer trip. So the bottom line is, you absolutely have to factor this into your total budget. And this last review from Stefan F. touches on two other potential red flags, spotty housekeeping and maybe some security issues. He mentions his room was never cleaned, and he felt uncomfortable with some late-night activity at the hot tub with no security around. It just suggests that the service, while a lot of people say it's friendly, can sometimes be pretty inconsistent. So, we've laid it all out. The fantastic location, that awesome free breakfast, but also some real concerns about cleanliness and those extra fees. So, let's try to bring it all together and figure out if the Cortona Inn is the right choice for your specific trip. Let's break it down. This hotel is going to be a perfect fit for you if your absolute top priorities are that short walk and a free hot breakfast. It's also probably ideal for families on a budget who need those bunk bed suites, or for anyone who's a true rope drop to fireworks kind of person who really just needs a decent, convenient place to crash. And, of course, for convention goers, that location is tough to beat. On the other hand, you should probably keep looking if you're someone who is really sensitive to room cleanliness, especially things like carpets. If that $22 a night parking fee is a deal breaker for your budget, or if you're someone who expects that consistent, everyday housekeeping service without having to ask for it, this might not be your spot. Oh, and a few reviews mention the TVs aren't smart TVs, so if having modern tech is a big deal, keep that in mind. All right, so let's say you've weighed it all and you've decided the Cortona's awesome perks outweigh its quirks for your trip. We've got a few pro tips for you pulled directly from other travelers to help make your stay as smooth as possible. Okay, first, and this is the big one, pack some slippers or an extra pair of socks for the room just in case you run into that carpet situation. Second, when you're doing your math, just pretend the room rate is $22 higher per night to account for that parking fee. Third, a great tip we saw, if you've got a big family, ask about getting adjoining rooms. It can be a perfect setup. And finally, if you need housekeeping, don't just rely on a text. Your best bet is to call or go right to the front desk. So, I guess it all boils down to this one big question, doesn't it? It's the classic trade-off. Is that guaranteed hot breakfast and that incredible 15-minute walk to the Magic worth taking a bit of a gamble on the room's condition and having to budget for those extra fees?
And ultimately, you're the only one who can really answer that question for your trip and your family. We really hope this deep dive gave you everything you need to make the best possible choice. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next Disneyland Hotel Diary.